Hey, how you doing, Dr. Prodigal? It's one of my days that I'm just kind of goofing, kind of in a sense. But I'm studying and just some things, meditation comes different ways. And I was actually meditating, prayer meditation. It's a wonderful time. Yeah, it was decent. It was all right. It was all right. Yeah, I'm reflecting. But I ran across 1 Corinthians 13 and 12. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as I'm also known. But, I like the Amplified version, for it said, for now, in this time of imperfection, we see a mirror dimly. We see in a mirror dimly a blurred reflection, a riddle, an enigma. But then when the time of perfection comes, we will see reality face to face. Now I know in part just in fragments, but then I will know fully just as I have been fully known by God. Well, I was just asking, and I will make eventually some of the funny times that we as Christians, we make the world laugh. Partly because of some silly things that we do sometimes, and some things we want to implement. But in this case, in this mirror that we're speaking of, or what I'm speaking of, and I was asking God, well, what is the revelation of this mirror? Well, then I saw a house, and the house had a certain number of windows. But inside that house, you had mirrors in the bathroom, you had mirrors in the bedroom, you had mirrors even in certain living areas. Okay. I said, okay, but it still didn't necessarily end up with the mirrors of the house. So I was like, so what are you showing me, Lord? Then I saw the community. Out of all the houses and buildings in the community, there are mirrors. On every car or truck, you have at least 2 mirrors. The side view, some 3, some 4 and 5, because you have different ones up top, at bottom, or whatever, and then you have the rear view. Multiply that by the number of houses we have, and I believe we have more cars and vehicles than we do houses. So then you add the bicycles with that, you add the motorcycles with that, you add the stores with that. Well, long story short, we have more mirrors in the world than we do windows. So what is the revelation on that? We should be taking time constantly to reflect on ourselves. We need to be looking in the mirror at ourselves to find out exactly what are we doing now? What's really going on? What's really happening? And I'm like, So with all of this that I'm looking at, oh my gosh, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. So I had to reflect on this. Out of all the mirrors that we have, all the mirrors, how much are we really looking in them? But we spend more time looking out the windows at what we see, and what we see is sin. But we won't look in the mirror to see the sin that's in the house. We'll look at the windows to see the sin outside the house. So why do I say that? For the longest time, I thought there was only maybe 2 or 3 different sins in the world. Saw the people were really making points to. Abortion and some things that, people have pet sins, but we forget about other things, such as the lack of love, talking about your brother, gossiping, whatever, just even picking up a paperclip still. We forget all about that. But that's because we're not looking in the mirror. And, when we look in the mirror, then we begin, if we're honest, we'll see some blemishes in our life. I've made it a point now to continue looking in the mirror now. I've looked out the window long enough in my life, and it's just so crazy. I once heard a saying that some people have a problem with all the sex, drugs, and violence on their DVR. That's the same as looking out the window and not necessarily looking in the mirror. Okay? We have a problem with all of these things, and that's the same as looking out of the window and not in the mirror. Or someone said that, you have a problem with someone because they sin differently than you. Again, it's looking outside instead of looking in the mirror. So how about this time, and this will be real short, we begin to look in the mirror of our own volition. We begin to correct the things that we see in the mirror, not the things we see out the window. So when I look in the mirror, what do I see? I see grace, I see mercy, I see forgiveness, I see joy, peace. I see all of it. Why? Because I didn't put that in the mirror. He did. The Lord put that in the mirrors for me to see it. But he also pointed out in his holiness other things in that mirror that need to be taken care of. So let's take a time right now and begin looking in the mirror. So now we see in part, even our own stuff. And soon we're going to see everything, the reality of it. I think the Amplified says, when the time of perfection comes, we will see reality face to face. That's going to be it. I mean, in the face of a holy God, we pale in existence. So, and when the time comes, we're going to see face to face. Let's spend the time in this season looking in the mirror, and let's start correcting some of the things that we see in the mirror. Do I say that everything is wrong? No. Do I say everything is right? No. Do I say that we have some things in the mirror? Yes. So let's start looking in the mirror. Let's look in the mirror so we can begin to clear up some of all the acne and the acne things that's up in here and the blemishes. In the meantime, what I'll do, I won't be looking out the window as much, but I'll be looking into the windows of my soul. God bless you, Dr. Prodigal. Let's take a look in this mirror instead of out the window.